All right, welcome back to the channel, man. This is absolutely hilarious. I have to talk about this. Terence Crawford's dream fight is stolen by Errol Spence Jr., and now Terence very well might be irrelevant in the welterweight division, man. I'm telling you, man, there's a price to ducking, and money talks. So, Terence is looking like he might need to, backtrack off of that, thinking that he doesn't need Errol Spence Jr. stuff. But anyway, we're gonna get to that in this podcast right after this. All right, welcome back to the channel. So, Terence Crawford, man, gets beat inside the ring and outside the ring by Errol Spence Jr. Absolutely no doubt about it. And I'm telling you, I am sitting up here smug as can be, telling you that. I'm so smug that I just bit my tongue because I must feel guilty on the inside. Oh, man. I have watched Terence Crawford and listened to Terence Crawford, and the way that he, his supporters, and Bob Arum have behaved this entire time. And I gotta tell you, man, that this is absolutely positively sweet, sweet justice. That it is Errol Spence Jr. and not Terence Crawford that gets the Manny Pacquiao fight. Because Terence Crawford, without a doubt, man, thought the way that he was acting, thought he had that fight in the bag. Now, why would he think it? Because Bob Arum keeps telling him it. Even though it is absolutely silly to believe that Manny Pacquiao would voluntarily do business with Bob Arum. Now, I know that there's a lot of rumors getting thrown around by why Manny Pacquiao would need why Manny Pacquiao would need Bob Arum to fight in the United States, right? And why he would be, Manny Pacquiao would be willing to be negotiating with Bob Arum. That is the rumor, right? That has never been substantiated, that Manny Pacquiao is not allowed to fight in the United States. If you listen carefully to what people have been saying for several years about Manny Pacquiao, they have consistently underneath their breath, because they don't like to get, Manny Pacquiao fans can be real serious with it, right? So they say it, but they say it under their breath. Little quick passive aggressive, microaggressive type of insults. Like, Manny Pacquiao, the problem is Manny Pacquiao owes a lot of money in taxes, and he can't come back to the United States. I do believe that Bob Arum has spread that rumor on Manny Pacquiao on several occasions. Now, is there any truth to that? I wouldn't doubt that Manny Pacquiao owes tax money. He's dealing with Bob Arum. You know what I mean? Bob Arum may very well, it's like I say, man, I'm not going to say or accuse Bob Arum of anything related to, any malfeasance in this video, right? All I'm going to say is, man, I've watched that dude closely enough over time to not put anything past him. Nothing past him at all. That's what I'm saying. His reputation for doing things like what he said with Teofimo Lopez, and how, Teofimo Lopez is going to fight on Triller, but, he's really making a big mistake because, who knows if he's ever going to get any of these big fights down the line, right? Things like that, where it's just obvious that, any reasonable person could infer from what he said that he meant to blackball Teofimo Lopez. So, who knows why people do business, why people do business with Bob Arum. So Bob Arum could be leading Terence Crawford to believe anything about Manny, right? However, now that Errol Spence Jr. is fighting Manny Pacquiao, that right there just pulls the wool. I mean, it just pulls the rug from underneath Terence Crawford. Because, dude, what are you going to do now? Seriously, after a Terence Crawford, and this is what I'm saying, man, when you walk around and you talk too much smack, man, like people would be so insistent that Terence Crawford get out there and talk in public. And now after, having watched him take that advice and over the last several years, I think it might have been a lot wiser if he just kept on being silent with everybody. Not this person or that person, but just be silent, man, because justifying not fighting Sean Porter, because that fight's not there, right? Manny Pacquiao, the fight that he thought was there, is not there, right? He also says that he's not interested in Errol Spence Jr., which also now is not there because he's fighting Manny Pacquiao. So all of the top fighters in the welterweight division, right? None of them are available to Terence Crawford at all, and it's pretty much because of Terence Crawford's doing, right? He's not willing to fight Sean Porter, or at least Bob Arum's not willing to make the offer, right? I mean, literally, Terence Crawford, the only fights that I can see that Terence Crawford really legitimately has to make is the Josh Taylor Jose Ramirez fight. And I doubt, I'll talk about that a little bit later in this conversation, but I don't see that happening, man. Absolutely. I do not see that happening. The winner, that would be like Bob Arum feeding his entire, dang near his whole stable to Terence Crawford. And at that age with Terence Crawford, I don't believe it, man. I think Bob Arum would much rather have a guy like Virgil Ortiz fight Terence Crawford than any of those other guys, because he has a better chance of getting Virgil Ortiz to sign with him, right? If he can squeeze, man, I guess if he can squeeze Oscar De La Hoya enough and not give him any fight dates or something like that. But anyway, that doesn't matter, because all of that stuff from what I can see is backfiring on Terence Crawford, man, because he's doing business with guys that just, do not have a very good reputation for doing business. And I mean, don't have a good reputation for doing business in any way. Like, even the numbers they're doing at ESPN are terrible, right? And there's a very real possibility that ESPN is going to do something about it, right? If this is it's a big corporation, people, they have bosses. The bosses, I guarantee you, are very, very much focused on the numbers, and they're very much interested on things like ROI, which is return on investment. They're very interested in their metrics, right? If you're doing a business that is whatever it is, they're going to have some measurement that they're looking at, and they're looking at it on a weekly, monthly, quarterly, annual, basis. They understand their numbers. And if they don't see any positive change in their numbers for the money that they're spending on you, they're going to go find somebody else and think maybe if this takes off, the worst we can do is be right where we are, right? So Terence Crawford finds himself, be finding himself on a sinking ship, right? The top rank sinking ship. People love that analogy of the sinking ship. So of the sinking ship called Top Rank, where's Terence Crawford going to go? There has to be other people willing to fight you. And now, why would they fight you? Right? You could have signed with them originally. But anyway, I don't know. I think that Errol Spence Jr. should probably fight Terence Crawford after he gets done beating Manny Pacquiao. However, it's definitely, if he beats Manny Pacquiao in Vegas in spectacular fashion, trust me, Terence Crawford ain't coming nowhere near a 60-40 split with Errol Spence Jr. No way. Now you're somewhere in the 80-20 split if he gets that fight and he wins that fight, because that's it. He's just a star in and of his own right, and that fight will probably do over 1 million pay-per-views. He'll just be in another stratosphere. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. Let me know what you think in the comment section of the video. If you're watching on the video, if you're watching it on Spotify, if we get this up on Spotify, leave me a comment there. And with that, I'm out. Peace.